Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tactical Games Podcast. I'm here with Nick Palacios.
Back again.
And in this episode, we're going to talk to you about our predictions for the 2024 National Championship. We're going to step into all the divisions, qualifying divisions. We're not touching intermediate. We're going to start out with the divisions that won't be crowned the national champion, men's and women's. So that'll be tactical, 40 plus and 50 plus.
Yep.
And then we'll step into the elite division after that.
Yep.
I'm going to give our top 5 predictions, talk a little bit about what we saw this year, who we liked, things that improvements that we saw.
Yeah.
Drop some names.
I'm excited.
You excited?
It's that time of the year. Shit talking's brewing on Instagram. You're seeing more people throw memes left and right at people, just kind of dogging each other, which is pretty funny.
What's been your favorite so far?
I've made a couple on my end that I'm holding off on for now.
Okay.
The one Kurt just put out of Jacob was actually pretty funny though.
Yeah.
You have to be this tall to ride the roller coaster. That was pretty good.
It's funny because Jacob is very short. If you haven't met him yet in person, he's of small stature.
A short king.
Tell my short kings out there, you know who you are. All right, where do you want to start?
Let's start in Masters. Let's go Masters 50 plus.
All right. So who do you got for first through fifth for your Masters 50 plus?
First through fifth. Oh man, I think you got to give it to Earl.
To first place?
I think first place, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Earl's up there, man.
All right.
Well, between him and John Murray, actually, I did just see John Murray's name. Sorry, Earl. I think he might take second place to John. Unless John bumps up to elite, then who knows what happens. But yeah, I would say John Murray, Earl. Oh, and then I have to think a little bit more about third place here. Who took third last year?
Edwin.
It was Edwin. Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll probably round out our top 3, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about you?
You got anything else? You want to add 2 more names on there?
Man, off the top. Oh, well, Lou. Also is up
did
there.
just tear his bicep, so Lou's not going to be competing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he said he tried to compete in elite at skirmish with John Murray, and
That's how it goes.
yeah.
That's how it goes. Dude's a whirlwind. He's a force to be reckoned with. Oh, that's a bummer. Well,
Yeah.
Hey, Lou, if you want to volunteer, get your red shirt. We'll bring you back out.
For me, I've definitely got John Murray taking the top spot.
Yeah.
Lou definitely would have been in my top 5 for sure. That injury, it kind of rules him out. I think you're going to see, I don't see Edwin's name on there. I don't think Edwin's registered this year. Yeah, no.
I'm sure he will.
Chad Smith is another one that I think you'll see in the top 5. He's had a great improvement this year. Mark Salvador. I think Brandon Wyckoff will probably end up in second. He's just an incredible marksman and very, very fit. And I think Earl will probably round that out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of other notables up there. Bill's obviously Bill Corcoran's been competing for a long time. He's got an excellent shot, but when it comes to the level of fitness that some of those guys at the top have, it's kind of hard to shake in that division.
There's definitely a big separation between, the top couple guys that took first, second, and third last year. There's a pretty significant gap.
I think all year when John competed, it was like at least a 10% gap between him.
It was pretty big. Arizona, I don't think he lost a single stage. Yeah. I think he had a perfect score in Arizona. And then, the rest of the competitions that he was in this year, relatively the same. He always wins 80+% of those stages. So
let's go into women's 40 plus next.
Women's 40 plus. Who do we have signed up here?
Who's your winner?
Women's 40 plus. We've got Tina and Nikki up there. They're going to be top 3, top 5 at the very least. Vanessa's up there as well, too. She's an excellent shot. She's very fit. Becky Wagner's been crushing it this year. I think Becky might take first this year. She might. Between her and Tina, they've both been shooting nonstop this year.
Yeah.
I think Tina just took first or second in Woman with a Gun. And then she did great over at Vortex this last weekend. She's always really fit as well, too. So I'd say probably top 3 between Becky, Tina, and I got to say Vanessa and Nikki, probably.
All right, so here's my top 5. I think you're going to have a very tight race between the top 3.
Oh, for sure.
Top 3 are going to be Becky with the win, Nicole Stewart in second, and then Christy Watson in third. And I think you're going to have like in between like 5% between those.
Yeah. It's going to be super tight. They're always, I mean, even when they throughout regionals all year, they're always very tight as well. So
I think you'll see Tina up there as well, and then Carissa Dustman just came back this year. She's actually come out swinging, and I think she's going to do pretty well up there too.
I don't think I'm too. What do you remember? What event she did this year?
Utah, I think, was her first one back. She was an old. I say old. She had like a legacy competitor. I think she got injured or something happened for a couple of years. She was gone, and that was her first event back.
Got
and
it.
She's having a good time. It might have been earlier in the year, but I definitely remember her being out. Past that.
That'll be a tight race for sure.
All right, men's 40 plus. This is a good one.
It's a good crew of guys. You've got Clint. Between Clint and Nate, it's going to be a good race this year. Nate's always such a great shot. He always comes in fit. Clint, I think, is going to edge him out on the fitness. Clint's also a great shot as well, too. So I'm probably going to say Clint's going to take first. Nate will take second. And then for third, I'd have to think on third place. Joey Roush is up there, too. Yeah, probably Joey. I'd say Joey takes third.
All right, I like that. Top 5. I'm giving you. I think Nate's gonna rock the win. I think you're gonna see Clint Gower in a very close second.
Yeah.
Jason Deal, I think, is gonna come in third, and then I think you're gonna see Joey Roush in fifth. Yeah, and Star is my fourth place guess.
I do love Star. Star, I hope you take first, man.
There's a ton of great competitors up there. Just curious to see who does what. A lot of these guys. So when we're saying these names, it's a lot of the people that we see often. We watch them pretty closely when they're competing and get an idea of them. So there's always dark horses that can come up here. Maybe it was a one-time competitor that did really well.
Yeah.
And, we just don't know them as well as some of the other people.
You've also got James Kling and Matt Elliott as well too, and those guys are always good competitors. You see them in and out of the podium on a regular basis. They compete pretty regularly as well too. So, I think they might be in that top 5 mix-up after that top 3. Who knows?
Yeah. With Matt, if we have a cold snap, he's from Canada.
Hey, so he might get it.
Yeah. If we tell him there's fries and poutine on the prize table
at the finish line,
you never know. Never know what's going to happen there. Where do you want to go next?
Let's go women's tack.
Oh, yeah. All right. Okay. This actually is a pretty exciting race. We've got quite a few of the Team SIG competitors coming out in this division. So, what do you think? What do you see there?
Let's see. You've got Colin Curry, Dana, Bailey. I'd say between them, it's going to probably round out our top 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Colin, last night, anytime she competes, she does really well. I think she took first in Arizona this year, right?
She's very, very fit.
Yeah.
And she practices shooting quite often.
She does, for sure. So, yeah, I'd say that probably rounds out my top 3. Colin, Bailey, and then Dana.
All right. I think we're going to see Colin, Dana, Marlana, Melissa, Bailey.
Okay. That'll be a tight race.
We gotta play some kind of bet on this. It's our wager. No. Like a gentleman's bet. Like a gentleman's bet. And we'll figure something out.
We'll write these down, and whoever gets the least amount of winners on the podium has to do burpees for an hour.
Burpees for an hour. Fuck yourself. Burpees for an hour. All right. Men's tactical. Much bigger list here.
Huge division.
There's a lot of names on here that I'm not super familiar with. So if we didn't pick you guys out in this, we apologize. It's just there's a lot of dudes here. So I'm gonna go with the ones that I know. You want me to pick this one first?
Yeah, go for it, because I think I have my top 3 pretty.
You got your top 3?
I got my top 3 pretty dialed in, I think.
Okay. Oh God. All right. So I'm going to pick for number 1. Austin Green. Austin Green's going to win the division. Okay? Shane
Okay.
Coley coming in second.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shane's a world champion pistol shooter.
I know, but I've only seen him compete twice. Well, he's competed twice, right?
Yeah.
And he took what, did he take second or third in?
Oh, you know who I forgot?
I
dude.
know who you forgot about.
Yeah, Brad Mahoney's
Yeah.
coming in second.
Yeah, thank
and
you.
then Shane Coley's coming in third. Forgot about Brad. My bad, dude. And then I think you're gonna round out that top 5 with, I think Brandon Wambo is gonna come out.
Yeah. True.
I
He's
think you'll
obviously a
see him
great
in
shot.
4th, and then oh man, Josh Fox is always good. He struggled with the top end of weights in elite, but he was incredibly fit.
Yeah.
So I think he'll probably end up in the top 5. And one of the Gross brothers, like, again, there's so many different possibilities in this division. I guess Tim Gross is the only one signed up right now.
No, I think Chad's on there as well too.
Is he?
Chad and
Oh,
Scott.
yeah, and Scott. Yeah.
All three of them are.
There's no way there's not a Gross brother in the top 5.
100%. That's why when you forgot, you weren't saying them for a second. I was like, he's completely forgetting the Gross brothers. So I'm going to be right there with you. Top 2 is going to be between Austin and Brad. It's going to be like very, very small percentage, I think, whoever wins between those two. We've seen a huge jump for Brad this year in TAC. I think he's got 2 first place and a second place finish this year. Austin Gross always dominates whenever he competes as well too. He's incredibly fit, shoots extremely well.
Austin Green.
Austin Green. Yeah. And then who did I have on my list for number 3? I just passed their name. So I think one of the Gross brothers takes top 3, and then Shane Coley's right there as well too. I think that's going to be between my top 4. It's going to be Brad, Austin, one of the Gross brothers, and Shane Coley.
Who's the dark horse that's going to show up in there? Do you know any of those other names that you think's going to?
You've got Ryan Foley in there too, dude.
Yeah,
Ryan Foley can shoot and he can move weight.
Cody Carr's another one. He's I think he's APD. Cody's very, very good. I think there's a possibility he could do some damage in that division.
True. Oh, and you've got Jose's brother in there as well.
Is that Jose's brother?
Mm-hmm. They got the same last name.
Yeah, but like, I don't know how common of a last name that is.
I have never seen that last name before.
I think it's, you're just assuming based on his race that they're brothers.
Maybe it could be, but I'm gonna go. You can't ever count Jose out. So if he's competing like his brother is, or if he's training like his brother is, I think he'll be up there.
All right.
So that's a huge division, man.
Yeah, that'll be fun. All right, moving on to elite. Did you start out with the men's elite?
I did, yeah.
All right, moving over there, bro. Over to elite.
There we go.
Oh, all right. So first thing we're going to cover is our national champs from last year. Speaking of short kings, here's the one right there. What's this guy's name again?
Jacob Hepner.
Oh, that's
Jacob
right.
Hepner.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. He's a father 3 times over now. So Jacob Hepner, last year's national champ, national champ in 2022 as well.
23 and 22.
Yep. So he's had an incredible year this year. 3 competitions. He was signed up for a bunch more, but
Kids.
You get your wife pregnant with twins, and all of a sudden your life changes a little bit.
Fun goes to the wayside, I guess.
He's crushed it every event that he's competed in this year.
Yeah.
Idaho, he had 4 first place stage finishes, 675 match points. Iowa, 693 match points with 4 first place finishes.
Yep.
That's one hell of a win.
Handedly won it. I mean, he missed a perfect score by 7 points.
Yeah, that's
so whatever he didn't take first on whatever stage that was, I mean, it was marginal.
I would say it was probably the action stage if I had to guess, because I think, or it might, the run. I bet it was the run.
Well, he finished first on the run.
Did he really?
For the men, yeah.
For the men. And
Katie Knight beat him.
Yeah.
But he did take first for the men. He probably took second on the 2-gun stage to Austin, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Because Austin, I remember, had a pretty good stage on that one. So.
And then his only loss of the year was in North Carolina. He lost to Kurt Finnell.
Mm-hmm.
That was definitely a match that had a fair amount of mid-range shooting.
Yeah, for sure.
definitely not a strength of Jacob's, something he's been working on long range. I saw that a lot this year. So that match had a lot of targets at like 120 plus.
Yeah.
And then we had a very long range event.
Yeah.
So
went out to 600 and change on the 2-gun stage, and then we had one stage that was 300-yard rifle shot.
Yep,
too.
330, I think 333. Yeah. All right, going to the next one. We've got our second place from 2024 or 2023. Aaron Clark, Sizzle.
Aaron Sizzle. We haven't seen him much this year, but I mean, he came out, had a good performance in Idaho, took second, had 603 match points with one first place stage win. Aaron's always a good shot. He's a huge human being. He can move a lot of weight, so he's a pretty well-rounded athlete. So, another dude you can't count out regardless of how many times he's competed.
Regardless of how big he is, he's definitely a big dude. We saw last year, which didn't have the heavier weights at nationals that you typically see. He performed very well even on the lighter weight, more cardiovascular, like more endurance-based workouts. So, regardless of his stature, he still performs very well with how large he is on those things. So, excited to see what Aaron does this year as well. Next up, we've got our 2023 third place finisher, Austin Aylward. So Austin, twice this year competed, finished third in North Carolina, behind Kurt Finnell and Jacob Hepner. He had 2 stage wins that weekend. 590 match points compared to, I'm not sure what was Jacob at with that one. I think he said 634, 640.
630 and change, yeah.
Yeah, and then Kurt was not far off from that. It was a very close race. He took second in Iowa to Jacob again. 644 of Jacob's 690?
Yeah, 690.
So, that amount of match points in any other match definitely would have given him a first place finish.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
He had two first place finishes that weekend, it looks like. Two stage wins that weekend. So I'm guessing the action stage and then something close, and Hepner was just right behind him.
He actually had a tough action stage, the 2-gun stage. I want to say he almost time capped on.
Oh,
so
really?
he had an issue on the long range. I can't remember what happened. But I want to say the rope rig stage he did really well, and I think he took first on that. And then I think maybe the farmer's carry stage that we did.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So.
All right, going into the 2023 fourth place finisher, we've got Jared Halbert. Jared's competed 4 times this year. You'll see in Florida, he had an 8th place finish. Texas, the team event, he had a 5th place finish. Idaho, he had a 3rd place finish with 1 stage win. New Hampshire, he had a 2nd place finish with 652 match points. That, again, was another team event. And they had a stage win on that one as well.
Yep.
Jared's competed quite a bit this year, and you're definitely seeing as the year's going on, his performance has increased, which is pretty common when he's a competitor. I think he just kind of tests how things are early in the year, and then puts the pedal down about 3 months before nationals.
Yep.
And, he's I'm not going to call him an older guy, but he's in his late 30s, where some of the younger guys are.
But again, a legacy competitor.
Yeah,
been here since the beginning. So as far as experience goes, he's got more experience than anybody on the field, pretty much.
Yeah, and the 2020 and 2021 national champion. So he was good at the sport before anybody else was good. He was just beating the shit out of people like Hepner has been for the past couple of years. So he outpaced everybody early on, and then you get some really fit dudes coming in, and he's still holding ground. So I'm excited to see what he does this year.
Yep. And then 5th place we had. Was Devin Miller. Yeah, Devin Miller. So came out once this year as well. Utah, 2nd place with 574 match points and 2 first place stage wins. He had a pretty great performance in Utah.
There was a hell of a spread out there. You had a lot of very strong, very competitive athletes. One of the best fields that we had all year.
Yeah.
So with 574 match points, he took 2nd place. Moving into the women's, our 2023 champion, Janae DeCausin. So Janae's had an incredible year this year. I think last year during the season, she was still just there was a lot of learning going on.
Yeah.
By the time the championship came around, she was a different animal and just went out there and rocked it. there are a few competitors that put the level of dedication into the sport that she does on the female side anyways. If you're looking at her scores from the year, I think Florida, she lost to E, and that was a really tight race. You had three stage wins that weekend.
It came down to like one last stage. They were 3-3, and then E ended up getting 4 stage wins on that event. Yeah. So it was very close.
At the Texas team event, she competed with was it Blair? Yeah, they crushed that field. Five stage wins. North Carolina, even after she had a heat injury, came back and still crushed it. Had a perfect score that weekend. 7 first place finishes. Absolutely demolished the field in that one. Utah, again, very strong win. She had, and she talked about this on her podcast, didn't have the best performance in a couple of stages, but still, was real resilient and squeaked it out and finished it up. Very impressive year for Janae for sure. Going into our second place from 2023, we've got E. Church. So E's competed 3 times this year. Florida, this is where we just talked about it. That was her first win over Janae, I believe. 721 match points. We did have, I think, 750 available for that one.
Yeah, it sounds right.
4 stage wins, just an absolute battle. That match, that was awesome.
She does really well with heavy weight and that big bag stage. She did very well on. I think that was our last stage that they competed in for the weekend too. So Idaho, first place finish, 680 match points, 5 stage wins on that one. And then New Hampshire, she had a big dumb partner, so she finished third that weekend with Zach Rodman, 635 match points. But again, our team events are incredibly competitive fields. Finishing third in a team event means you beat you had 4 of the top competitors in the sport that probably placed over you. Third place in 2023, another competitor that's been around since the beginning of the sport, Meg Kennedy. Meg's an incredible marksman. She had a pretty big life transition this year, moved from North Carolina, I think, down to Georgia. So I think her training got affected a little bit by that. She's still been out there competing. She's finished in second every time she's competed this year. Idaho rounded that out, 596 match points and 2 stage wins. New Hampshire competing with Jared Halbert, 652 and 1 stage win there. Meg's always, she's always on the podium when we see her out there. She's a great competitor and one of the best marksmen in the female side for sure. Very true. And then 4th place we have, I believe, Lexi Dickinson. So Lexi came out Arizona this year, crushed it, took first place, had 4 first place stage wins. She did exceptionally well there.
And then we didn't see Lexi for a while.
We were wondering what happened to her, and then we saw her in Utah last month and found out she's pregnant. So
I think she wasn't a little bit pregnant. I think she had told us that she found out she was pregnant right after Arizona. So she showed up and had I don't want to say a big ass belly, but
she's pregnant.
She's pregnant. Oh, she's pregnant.
She's pregnant. So I do not believe we will see her for nationals, but which is unfortunate because she's a great competitor and she's a very good marksman as well too. So, but when she did come out this year, had a dominating performance, and looking forward to seeing her next year.
Yeah, for sure. All right, going into 5th place, Blair Drum. So Blair is another female that's been around since very early on in the sport. I think she started in 2019. Started out and just didn't have her shooting squared away. Was incredibly fit, but just didn't have that shooting. I've seen her a lot this year, posting about, especially through her work with Kimber and everything else that she's doing, a ton of shooting. So you've seen that increase tremendously this year. And that's represented by her placing in Florida. Florida, again, she was going against the 1st and 2nd place finishers from the national championship last year. She still squeaked out a stage win. 632 match points.
And in that 1st place stage win was on the carbine.
Oh yeah, no, I remember.
So that's impressive. That goes to show what she did in the off season is working for her.
She had the most unconventional shooting style I've seen, not ever, but
I do remember you saying that.
It was wild, and I was like, whatever works, man. She's like, hey, I just said let go, let God, and it worked out pretty well. Texas, the team event. She competed in the women's division with Janae, 763 match points, 4 stage wins there. Iowa finished second, 647 match points, and 2 stage wins in Iowa. All right, if we could pull up that big overall sheet that we had from the beginning, let's talk about who we think. Who you got? Who you want to start with first? Men's or women's?
Let's go women's elite first.
Okay. All right.
So what do you got?
You want to go first for men's or women's? We'll pick.
I'll go first for men's.
Okay. All right. For women's elite. Okay. I am going to guess E is going to be our national champion this year. I think you saw Janae put the pedal to the metal at the end of the year last year and really outpace E in her shooting. I think E's been putting a lot of intention into shooting this year. And just when it comes to some of the heavier stuff, E just outpaces Janae a little bit. I think you're going to see a very tight battle, but I think it's going to be E in first place, Janae in second place. I think you're going to see, somebody's going to round out this top third. And I think it's going to be Blair. I think Blair's going to pull into that top. I think she's going to pull into the third place. Yep. So, and I think you're going to see Megan Kennedy fall to that fourth place spot. And I think Brittany Underwood is going to end up in that fifth place spot.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, she's good.
So I'm right there with you on first and second. I'm still back and forth between who's going to take first, whether it's Janae or E. I know E's been working a lot on long range rifle with the company that she's been working with. I've been seeing her put in a lot of work there, and obviously you can never count Janae out as far as her effort because she's always working on both sides of the fence with shooting and fitness. Third place, Crystal Herbert, you can never count her out.
Yeah, for sure.
She's always a great competitor. I want to say, I mean, she didn't do terrible in nationals last year. She didn't make the top 5, but I mean, when she competed against Blair this year, she did beat Blair in Iowa. So, who knows how that's going to translate to nationals if she can stay focused. I think she'll definitely be in the top 5. And then it'll be between Blair and Lupe for me, I think, for top 5. Awesome. Lupe always comes out and competes and does very well. And her track record as far as competing goes, like she's got a significant amount of podium finishes with Lupe. So you never know. I think she's going to do exceptionally well this year at nationals.
So the big differentiator for nationals that I've seen is the third day of competition.
Yeah.
A lot of people can physically withstand 2 days worth of competition. When you add in that third day, it takes another level of training. It takes another level of dedication. And that's where you start to see some of those names that you'll see on top of the podium start to fall off because maybe they didn't prep right with their diet. Maybe they're not hydrating well enough. They just don't have that intention and that focus. But the ones that show up with that on day 3 are the ones that are gonna bring it home.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
All right.
Men's elite.
Here we go.
The boys.
Right.
So this is going to be everything I think within like the top 5 is going to be extremely close.
I think you're going to see within the top 8 to 10.
Yeah,
pretty close.
I came around on the sponsorship side of things at the beginning of the last season, and obviously started working for the company about halfway through the year. So I've been here almost a full 2 years. Last year, I do not remember seeing as many guys as I have this year putting in the level of training that they have been. Everybody who's been on the podium this year in men's elite, and also the guys that have been very close to getting there, have been putting in a ton of work. So when I give my top 5, this is all very, very marginal. I think first place is going to be a dogfight between Jacob and Kurt. Kurt's extremely fit. Jacob is extremely fit. They both can shoot very well. Kurt's got him on long range, I think, all day long. I know Jacob's been putting in a lot of work there, but that's kind of Kurt's bread and butter there. So depending on how Jacob shoots long range, I think is going to dictate their first and second spot. But you can't. Jacob's extremely competitive too, man. So I think it's probably going to be Kurt, then Jacob, and then you're going to see in third place. God, third place is going to be really tight. I think you're going to see probably Sal take third. Sal's, I think, took in first or second in every division that he's gone every time he's competed this year. But then you got Austin there as well too. It's going on. I think that's going to be interchangeable between third and fourth place for me, between Austin and Sal. But I think you're going to see Sal in third, Austin in fourth, and then fifth place you're going to see Jared.
All right. That's
what I'm thinking.
There's a lot of names out there.
I know
you left out.
You've got Kyle Martin. You've got Tim Szymanski. Those guys have been putting in a ton of work. Kyle's been a dog.
I didn't hear Aaron Clark mentioned in your.
Aaron Clark's up there as well too. Yeah, you're right.
He's taking 150-yard pistol shots.
That's true. We do have a lot of 150-yard pistol shots at Jared. No, I'm kidding. That's right. I completely forgot about Aaron as well too, dude. Top 5 is going to be a toss-up.
This is, for the first time in a long time, I think this is the most exciting division. It's men's elite's always kind of been like, you figured who was going to be up there. You know, it was just kind of, you kind of knew.
Yeah.
This year, I think you're going to see like just wild stuff happen in the top 5. All right, my 2024 national champion, Austin Aylward.
Let's go.
Let's
go.
All
right.
I think you're going to see Jacob show up with baggy eyes, carrying, like, just worn out from carrying twins around. I think Jacob's going to come in second.
Okay.
I think you're going to have Kurt Finnell in third. I think you're going to have, Josh Sykes.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Sorry. Jose is going to be in fourth. And I think you're going to see, God, Jared is a tough one.
You think Jose beats Sal?
I think Jose beats Sal.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Sal is very capable at the regional weights. When you pick that weight up 20%, when you go to that nationals level, that's really like towards the higher end of where his performance starts to break down. And I don't mean to break down in a negative way. It's just timing starts to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's not his shooting. It's just everything takes a step back a little bit when you get that much heavier. Jose is incredibly strong and can shoot.
Very well-rounded.
So I think I'm going to pick Jared rounding out that top 5. Again, he's got the knowledge as a competitor to understand, like, he understands the game of the tactical games very well. And he's not one that can ever be counted out. And I think that, man, I hate to leave Kyle out of there too, because Kyle works hard as hell. So maybe that top, like, if I could go down to top 10, I'd continue to add names on there. But yeah.
So if you look at Kurt's track record, anytime he has competed, he's always taken first place.
Yeah.
In whatever division he's competed.
Yep.
He's got 2 first place finishes in Elite this year.
Yep.
And he took first place in Florida, which was also a very stacked division.
Oh, yeah.
Almost everybody was there in Florida.
Yeah.
So.
And he drove like straight from sniper school to, I think he pulled in that morning at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, man. Like I think Kurt takes first place this year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's your predictions. Mine's Austin. Don't let me down, Austin. I'm gonna be. We're betting. What did we say? I'm not doing an hour worth of burpees. So
come on, make it fun.
That's something else. We'll have to come up with a scoring structure too, where like first place gets you 3 points.
We'll post it. We'll do live. We'll do like a live kind of scoring throughout the weekend for us and seeing who's doing well and who's not. I guess. Yeah, we'll keep this. We'll figure something out.
Okay, Ro, what's the Instagram look like? What are people weighing in on there for the poll that you put out this morning?
It's good. However you say Austin's last name.
Aylward.
Allyward. Aylward.
He's got the most likes on the comment that's on there.
So Austin's leading the chart. I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
Okay.
The internet agrees with me.
All right.
I think that means you win when the internet wins.
James Gill got 7 too.
James Gill. Okay. Yeah, he's not competing.
James Gill's not competing.
If he does compete, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
James Gill would take first in his division this year, though.
Whatever division it might be, we love you, James.
James is always a force.
Anybody? Did they give you any insight on? Yeah, fucking John
For sure.
Kurt Finnell. K Factor.
Kurt Finnell, man. I'm telling you.
I don't know who that is.
Isn't that the guy with the lady, the karate?
The guy.
Sure.
The guy with the lady.
The guy with the eyes.
The thing with the lady. I don't know who that is. I don't even see that name up here. Kmart. You can't, like, can we just start
Dude,
calling
that's
him Kmart?
That's It's pretty good, dude. That's pretty good.
Do you not?
Kmart's a good nickname.
Kmart was a basketball player from the 2000s. It was Kenyon Martin.
Kmart was the preemptive department store of the 90s as well, too.
Blair, absolutely. If and I have her in my top 3 for sure.
It's gonna come down to her shooting for sure, like how well she stays in the pocket when it comes to shooting this week. Weekend.
Yep. Any others? Anybody else weighing in on the? I didn't hear any 40+ names. Kirk's not signed up. Crystal.
Crystal.
The Polish guys say, "Go Kirk, go Jacob."
Right on. Shout out Poland.
Poland is weighed in.
See you in August, boys. Who else are we missing out on here?
No, those are all good.
Oh, Nick Denninger's on there as well too, but we haven't seen Nick compete with those guys yet in the league.
Yeah. I think you've got Nick is good. Nick definitely proved himself. I think you've got, again, a 3-day competition, a hell of a lot of people out there, but he's definitely a dark horse that can come in and interrupt a lot of stuff. There's a lot of names on the men's elite list that can come out, and Justin Betancourt's another one. He's incredibly fit. Samson Bale, one of the most exciting young competitors in our sport.
When I don't want to say kid, but he's younger.
He's 19.
I think he's 19 years old. Like when he's in his mid-20s, when he gets like mid-20s muscle, like that kid's gonna be an animal. He already is an animal.
He's an animal.
He's gonna be a savage.
I walked up to his mom, who was at our match in Utah, and I was like, "You have a very impressive son. He's incredibly respectful. He's conducts himself very well." What's that? Yeah.
Get a good kid. No, I think I'll be excited to see where he ends up. I hope he makes top 10.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah.
I would love to see him break top 10. Like for his confidence at his age, like I think that would do really well for him if he can stay focused for next year and get a good placement this year. I think that'll give him a lot of momentum moving into the 25 season.
Seeing women's elite is Bray. No Bray Garcia.
Is she not signed up there?
She's been competing all year.
Yeah, and she's done well. She's got 2 podiums. I think she podiumed Iowa and Arizona.
Yeah.
She was competing in TAC duel last year, made the jump this year, and it's been doing very well.
Done very well.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see if she ends up coming to nationals.
Jordan Sessions is a new one, just like Katie Knight, incredibly fit. Just like I think lacking some of that marksmanship ability. I think that's what's keeping them out of the top. Katie Batiste is awesome. Taylor DeStefano and Ashley Hune, new competitors that again they're just outside of where they need to be as far as the shooting goes. But once you give them a year of training and get them like kind of picked up on where they're shooting, I think that they'll be players in that too.
Yeah, and Jenna as well. Jenna's incredibly fit, and she's worked a lot on her shooting this year. She came to the scrimmage this last weekend, and we had a 25-yard pistol shot on the 2 circles, and she absolutely smoked it. She did really well. She's been working a lot on her shooting, so I'll be excited to see how she fares up this year as well too at nationals.
Aisling says Austin Green.
Austin, oh yeah, we picked Austin. Austin's my my men's tactical winner. Oh yeah, Michael Palmer's good.
Sig has really good shooters. They're great competitors. I like that they all come in force, and they're good. They're good folks. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, and they show up and they support one another, and that's huge when you're out there on the field and you've got a group of people behind you cheering you on. That's pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Who else are we missing here? Did we say James Kling in men's 40?
Yeah.
We did.
James, yeah. Yep. I'm sticking with my men's 40+ list.
Yeah. No, I stick by my my choices.
There's also Seamus. I just like that name.
Seamus. Good. Get on you, man. I hope you crush it. It's a good name.
Got anything else you want to add?
No, I'm excited, man. Nationals is going to be fun. We've got a great pool of competitors this year. I think the evolution of the sport is changing in real time in front of us, and it's really cool to see the difference between last year and this year. So I'm very much looking forward to the event.
Awesome. All right. Well, Nick's looking forward to it, so you guys should be too. We appreciate you all very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
See you at Nationals.